Hello, my name's Austin Steele. I'm going to do my final project on the king of pop country, Garth Brooks. Some biography about Garth Brooks. He was originally born named as Troil Garth Brooks, aka Garth Brooks was born on February 7th, 1962 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He started his singing career in country music bars while attending Oklahoma State University. After college, he attempted to make it in Nashville but failed. Then he met his wife, Sandy, and he continued to sing in country music bars. Then he met his music manager, Bob Doyle. He finally made it in Nashville and then signed to Capitol Records. Some early success for his career. He released his first album in 1989 entitled Garth Brooks. It sold over 10 million copies, a mere blip on the radar compared to his next albums. His next album's record sales were through the roof. Top hits on this album including Way Too Young to Feel This Damn Old, the hit The Dance, which was a #1 hit for him, and another Billboard Top 100, If Tomorrow Never Comes. Garth Brooks' next album, entitled No Fences, released in early 1990, was his best album in the terms of the most with #1 hits. The album featured 4 #1 hits, including Friends in Low Places, which was his best #1 hit, Working on a Full House, Unanswered Prayers, and The Thunder Rolls. This album sold over 17 million copies and received diamond status. Some of his singles that were a big hit and success in his career to date, this includes now, he has had 15 #1 hits. These are some of the most successful. Like I said before, Friends in Low Places, The Thunder Rolls, Two Pina Coladas, Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up, Unanswered Prayers, Long Neck Bottle, and Shameless. Shameless was unlike the other six. The other six were kind of upbeat um, and poppy sounding, but Shameless was a true love ballad. He didn't have too many of these. Shameless was one, and Unanswered Prayers was another. Then he had another album I'll talk about later, which was full of kind of love songs and ballads. He didn't sing these too often. Big reason why he got dubbed the king of pop country, because he didn't have a typical country vibe to him. But anyways, there are more. There's 8 more #1 hits that I failed to include, but Friends in Low Places was Garth Brooks' most successful single, lasting #1 on top of the charts for 4 weeks. Other albums and record sales. Garth Brooks released 8 studio albums before his retirement in 2001. These albums including Garth Brooks 1989 with 10 million copies sold, No Fences in 1990 with 17 million copies sold, Rope in the Wind in 1991, 14 million copies sold. A note about Rope in the Wind, critics say that's his best album, with all the major hits on top of it. The next album was The Chase, released in 1992 with 9 million copies sold. Pieces, released in 1993 with 8 million copies sold. Fresh Horses, released in 1995 with 7 million copies sold. Another note, this was the album I was speaking of that was full of love songs and country ballads. Then, in 1997, he released Sevens, which sold over 10 million copies. Then finally, Scarecrow, his last studio album before he retired, which sold roughly around 5 million copies. He decided to retire officially from tours in 2000, even though he released his final studio album in 2001. He retired in part of he really wanted to focus more on his family and his 3 daughters. And after he retired, though, he couldn't quite balance work and family life and his wife, and he decided to divorce in late 2000 around October. He then did what most great cowboys do and ride into the sunset. That's what most people thought and what he thought he was going to do as well, but the show was too much for him and he decided to come back. Brooks decided to come back in 2009, and he started playing shows on the Las Vegas Strip. These, of course, were a major success and part of because he had so many fans that would follow him through and through the thick and thin. So when people started hearing that he was going to play shows, people rushed out to Vegas to watch Garth Brooks play live again. He then played a major arena concert in Nashville. This was his last arena concert since 1998. This, of course, was a sold-out show by a long shot. And all proceeds went to families that were affected of flooding that hit Nashville in the May of 2010 the year that he played that concert. His newest album. Brooks released his newest album in November 2014 entitled Man Against the Machine. He also stated that he and his band will start a new countrywide and world tour to begin this upcoming year of 2015. He also shall and will perform this Sunday at the 50th Annual ACM Awards, American Country Music Awards, and be an awards presenter as well. Garth Brooks' significance. Garth Brooks has had a major significance not only to country music but humanity as well. He's the only country artist, and this is true, the only country artist and the only recording artist ever to have an album released #1 on the country charts and #1 on the top 200 album charts as well. The only person to beat Garth was Garth himself. He did this feat 7 times in his career. 7 out of his 8 albums debuted #1 on the country charts and #1 on the pop charts. He also ushered in a new style of country music that is relevant today. Today's country is due in part of Garth Brooks. Country until Brooks was of the ballad and twang style. Artists like George Strait, the king himself, his songs were full of ballads and slow songs and had the quote-unquote country twang to it. But Garth brought rock and upbeat lyrics that form the country music we see today. And again, he also had his love songs and ballads to appease fans. He also holds the record of selling the most albums for a solo act, beating the king, Elvis Presley. This according to RollingStone.com. Garth Brooks has inspired many artists, and there will probably be many new country artists to come up throughout the years that will point to Garth Brooks as a major influence on their career. But these are some of the artists that have been inspired to Garth Brooks and play shows like Garth with upbeat style and bringing a new kind of pop and rock to country music. Artists like Florida Georgia Line, Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, Sam Hunt, Maddie and Tay, which is a duo female group. And of course, there are many more country artists that point to Garth Brooks as their inspire or influence. But I kind of just posted the most relevant due to the style is just like Garth Brooks. This here is my works cited page. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed doing this project. So thank you.